Saturday morning flight sim.
It's not morning, you drongo. It's evening.
Good day, good morning, good evening, and good night. Welcome to Positive Rate. We're starting in one of my old local airports. This is Charlie Yankee Zulu, Toronto International, Pearson International Airport. Big welcome to anybody watching today. Hope you're having a good weekend so far, and a huge shout out to Nighthawk, who has already joined me on the tarmac today. I've decided to use real time because the sun's just coming up in Toronto, even though here in Scotland it's already 11 o'clock in the morning. And I thought, hey, nice sunrise departure might be something to look at. So there you go. Got lots of news today as well. So much news. Don't even know where to start. But there's a lot going on in the flight sim world right now, which is kind of cool. So I was just halfway through setting up my airplane here. We've got our fuel is set in, so we just need to start looking at weather and things like that. Hour and a half block time roughly. So I thought we had a little bit of time just to watch some of the setup that I've got. And 31.6 today. You probably can't see me yet, so I'll put that camera on. Hello! How are you? Hope you're doing okay. As per usual, we will go through the route today. We have seen Toronto Airport many times, so I don't think I'm going to do much of a tour. Apart just to show you how cool it looks at night. It does look pretty cool. Reality of using the airport is somewhat different. As a passenger, I can't say it's a fan favorite of mine, but the scenery looks fantastic. So yes, albeit not an airport that I prefer to frequent, it's certainly well represented in Flight Simulator with the scenery. Available from Orbix, I believe. Right, so we've set our QNH, well, our inches of mercury anyway, 30.16. Not very windy today. Typical summer, I would say. 3-knot winds coming out of roughly the north. We are departing runway 33 right today, so I'll show you what our route looks like. Close that. So we are taking the Kepler 3 departure for runway 33 right, which is a vector off runway heading and then turning direct towards Vivet. Give us a nice slow right-hand circle over Toronto. We'll see the downtown core coming back past the Toronto Island. And then down over Lake Ontario to Rickham, and then cutting across. Oop, always do that. Cutting across in a south westerly direction over Rochester, New York, coming in above Connecticut. And it's the Harp 4 arrival. Now, Harp 4 arrival isn't. There's only one transition that works for runway 4, which is what we've been assigned today. So we're coming up from the south, and that is the Greg transition. So if I show you quickly what I've done on the route, which you might have seen if you've been watching the preview as I was getting up just before the stream started. What I've actually done to accommodate that. Back too far, so just step in here. So going to Harp and then Crayley, I've bypassed directly to Greg, takes us to there, and then it kind of takes us on this what do you call it, crosswind approach, crosswind left-hand approach over LaGuardia, which is where we're flying today, down and around to Varaz, and then onto ILS localizer approach into runway 4 into LaGuardia. So that works quite nicely. And if you're trying to, you put in the route and you're trying to do Harp 4, if some brief is given you and you're trying to figure out how to work that, that's the way to work it. So just program the Greg transition for the Harp 4, for the runway 4 approach. And then, yeah, just connect that up to, what was that waypoint? Connect that up to Crayley, and that should give you a nice, decent approach coming in. Anyway, so that, I'm sure that's all fine and good. Looks like our ILS has aligned, our INS has aligned as well. Don't have any APU power yet right now, so we just need to, final check is, I just need to set the passengers, which today we have full load, so it's 100. Looks like we've got a full load here. 112 passengers with 2,500 kilograms of cargo. So we'll get that plugged in, and then we got 1,540. There we go. Zero takeoff rate, according to my charts, should be. Where's zero fuel rate? 49.4 roughly, and that's exactly what we're seeing in the FMS, so that's perfect. Center of gravity 2400, so we'll get to that in a minute. It is, as I mentioned, a runway 3 departure, 33 right departure, I should say. Cruise altitude today is flight level 370. And what did we say, 49.4? Just put a 1 for reserves. Cost index is 65. Let's keep that. And cruise winds today will be, we've got this on a different screen. Make sure I'm still on the preview road here. Go back into normal ops. I do have this written down. Hang on. Cruise wind today, not anything to worry about. 026 for 32, so it should be a fairly rapid flight down to New York. And one limits, we're flying without. With takeoff calculator, we're going to 5-degree flap takeoff, center of gravity today. Go into our handy dandy takeoff performance. Import from OFP. We are running 33 Come on. 33 right. Weather, there we go. It's 24, 26, 24. Well, 24.3 basically. 26. Giving us a trim just below 5. About there. And in terms of our runway winds, it's 320 at 3. As I said, not much to worry about today. 320. Runway slope for Toronto is dead zero. It's flat. Nice and flat. Doesn't feel flat when you're taking off, but apparently it's fine. Everything else should be fine. Let's punch that in. That gives us a flex temperature of 53 degrees centigrade, which will give us a rate 1 derated takeoff, which is fine. A little bit of fuel savings there. 126, 127, 131. So if we go back to calculator here, 126, 127, and 131. Perfect. Okay. At this point, we can probably put the beak on. I think we're about ready to take off. Nighthawk, you let me know where you are if you're getting ready to depart there. You can tell the jetway to disappear. And we'll set parking brakes. Wheel chocks can come off as well, please. Oop. I hate that it ties the wheel chocks to the electric power. it's a bit of an annoying thing to mine. Okay, we need APU pronto. I could reconnect the electric power, but I'll just get the APU going. That's fine. We're gonna have a wee bit of an alarm for a sec. Luckily, the battery on the 737 is absolutely brilliant, so it'll sit and power the airplane for a good couple minutes before it collapses, and by the time we get anything to worry about, the APU should be kicking in at that point, so we'll see what happens. APU spooling. Yeah, I think it's partly PMDG just trying to be a little bit too clever, I guess. But that's okay. Okay, we should see APU power coming in any minute here. We've all done it, haven't we? We've all done it. And I've seen it happen in real life as well. There's APU power, we can bring that in. Perfect. Okay, let's get some bleed air on. Start cooling off the cabin because it will be a hot day out there. We can set our altitude while we're up here, 37,000 feet. Go, and anything else we need to do up here at the moment? Probably not. Well, we can put on all our stuff here. Hydraulics can come on. Yaw damper can come on. Just make sure that that blinks off. Yes, it does. And we'll get the tug connected here. Edge off that. Just want to take the edge off that. If it'll let me. No, wrong one. Ugh, I don't know. Oh, there it is. All right, okay, there we go. Yeah, it's a bit easier to look at. We can see the sun is now rising spectacularly over the great city of Toronto. Look at that. How beautiful. Very flat, too. You can always get good sunrises and sunsets because there's nothing really blocking your view. Okay, here we go.
Standing by for pushback.
And we are ready. So, plan of pushback. Where do we want to go? We are going to runway 33. Let's take a quick look at the charts. So we are there. So we're going to back out nose to the southwest. Essentially nose to the left. And we're going for runway 33 right. So I think what we'll do is we'll probably point right. We're pointing right towards Delta Romeo. So we'll just head straight down there, take Delta all the way down, which is pretty much going to take us straight into the threshold for runway 33 right. So that's a nice and easy taxi. In terms of what we're doing here. Just so, because we got it, we don't want to get in the way of other aircraft. We'll tell them to pull back past the turn point and then just pull us around, line up with the proper taxiway there. I think that'll work. And you can start pushback, sir. Thank you very much. Now, anything else that we need to worry about? I think we're covered so far. Make sure we set our flaps before we take off as well, because I made that mistake on the last stream with the 737. Parking brakes are coming off, sir. Fuel can come on.
Commencing pushback, you can start the engine in sequence.
Thank you very much, sir. Tax off. Engine 2. For that, hit the magic 22. Fuel. Love those engines running into life. Low frequency effects of the sound package for a PMDG is really good. Okay. You can see that we've actually now gone past our point as per the plan, and the truck's just taking us to line up onto the taxiway now. Just keeps us out of the way of any other aircraft. See, Nighthawk is already on the taxiway, actually. That looks good. And there's our Delta Romeo access point into Delta, so we're going to just take that all the way around. Runway 33 right's over here somewhere. Looking at it, Nighthawk, it's almost like you're pointing in the wrong direction. Unless you're taking off a different runway, I don't know. Okay.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking light.
I'll set those parking brakes, thank you very much.
Parking light set, lowering the aircraft.
Thank you very much.
Okay, sir, clear to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the site. Have a good flight.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service. Engine 1. Fuel. I love the this whole sim just looks completely different when the sun's rising, isn't it? Everything lights up differently, and it's a nice warm colors. Very cool. Okay, I'll throw flight directions come on. And we want flaps 5. Love the flap noises on this as well. Okay, cool. We've got both engines running nice and warm, so we'll get the packs and bleed air off of all of those. APU can go off now once we connect the power for the engines, that is. Silly rabbit. And we'll put it on the taxi light. Does that reset anything up here? No, probably not. It may, however, have turned off our yaw gun. Yes, it has, so I'll turn that back on. So taxi light's ready to go. And anything else we need to think about at this point? Probably not. Brakes are off. Let's roll. A little bit of throttle to boost and then pull it back just to give us a nice cozy momentum. Nighthawk has got himself turned around. Delta. This will take us directly to 33 right. Just gonna follow the road to the yellow brick runway. Well, not quite yellow brick, but okay, RTO set. And if that's set, we want to turn on TCAS. See Nighthawk sitting there waiting patiently for us. Nighthawk, your choice, sir. Would you like me to depart first, or would you like to go first? Entirely up to you. About there. See a threshold warning there. Do we? No. Okay, yeah, there we are. So we're gonna, looks like Nighthawk is gonna go for it. So we'll just stop there, get the brakes on. Let's get a nice view of Nighthawk departing here. if he's departing or not. Well, here we go. Love that sound. Beautiful sunrise takeoff. There's DC-3 toiling on the foot of the runway there. I'll just jump over it. And up he goes, Airbus 320. Lovely takeoff. Okay. Alright, final checks. RTO is set. TCAS on. Indicated airspeed is set. Everything else is on. PAX set. Everything's looking good there. Runway lights can come on. Oh, you know what? We never did. We never put seatbelts on, so we'll just assume we'll say we did. Ping the cabin, just let them know we're taking off. Landing lights come on as well. Engines to continuous, please. And we will put our nav lights into strobe. Which we can see on the outside of the aircraft. Let's line up and get ready to go here. Flaps are already set, so that's cool. I spent many hours of my life at this airport. Okay, we are ready to roll here. 50% power. And off we go. Move down pressure. Forward pressure on the stick. While releasing that.
Rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. Enter vector. Still manual. Stress of about 2,000 or so. And one kicking in now. Okay. Flight director is now telling us to drop the nose. Flaps 1. Oh, how do I fly this plane? VNAV can come on. Actually, I should have put that on the first place. Wrong thing. And autopilot. And LNAV. Go to our legs. We can now intersect to Vivet. Quite happy for that. And we'll get some nice views as we do a slow circle over Toronto. Just get us up to our flight. Assigned flight level, which is 370. Let's get the drone camera out. Let's have a look. At the vast sprawl, which is the Mississauga area, just south of Toronto. can already see the smog. Look at that, Nighthawk. I actually didn't realize how well smog is represented in the sun. Although it wouldn't be necessarily smog, probably more like fog this morning, I think. Because you do get quite a lot of fog in Canada on the summer mornings. And it's just because of the humidity. And it kind of, as it cools, all the humidity kind of condenses into this like vapor, and it just sits like a layer over everything. Particularly in Ontario, because Ontario is relatively flat. Haze from wildfires in Alberta. Oh, that could be. That's a scary thought, isn't it? Seems like it's just a normal thing now, isn't it? Pretty horrible. Putting your flaps in, by the way. I forgot that though. Okay, flaps are up. Nice. Bit of a silly mistake there, but anyway, it didn't really hurt us. So, gear can go in park. Take RTO off. Engines are okay, so we'll put those back into, turn the ignition back into the off position, runway lights, and taxi can come off. Keep the landing lights on just right now until we pass 10,000, which will be momentarily. And you can just see the downtown core of Toronto appearing in front of us, so we'll get an external shot of that as we pass over. I was also seeing Nighthawk that there is fires in Nova Scotia, which is pretty awful. Crew can probably start moving around, so I'll give them a bit of a ding. Still on our climb run D-rate. Above 10,000 now, the plane is accelerating to approximately 308 knots. And then once we see that speed arrived at, well, let's see the nose start to pitch up. Watch for the flight director, we'll start to climb again. Or it won't. But we are increasing our climb rate anyway. Trying to look all intelligent there, wasn't it? Well, that backup always seems to be. Transition altitude here, of course, is 18,000 feet, so that's why I've not seen that kick in yet. Passing 13,000. You can see Nighthawk climbing nicely in that Airbus 320, already at almost 19,000 feet. And there you can see the Ontario coastline, so you can see the city of Toronto below us there. There you go. There's Toronto Island Airport, or as it's now known, Billy Bishop International? Not sure, but Billy Bishop anyway. You can see, just roughly see the Sky Dome and the CN Tower there with Financial District on Bay and Yonge, or Bay and, forgot all my streets now, Bay Street anyway, but, and that's the Toronto Island. Lovely place to visit, by the way. And we say bye-bye, take care to you. Hopefully that DC-3 will get up into the air at some point. Beautiful sun coming up over the calm waters of Lake Ontario. Looks like glass. It's unusual, I guess because of the low winds, but it's very unusual to see the lake quite that calm. Nighthawk says town of Jasper has been hit bad. Okay, with a forest fire, yeah. 30% destroyed, wow. And fires seem to be getting worse in the west, yeah, they do. High winds and hot temperatures is my understanding. It's a bad combination. Very difficult to fight as well because, I mean, you put one fire out and it's as much as they can put out, it's spreading about 3 times as fast, so it's a bit of a losing game, unfortunately. It's Mother Nature you really do rely on at times. Okay, we're above transition altitude, so switch everything over into standard. That is standard already. It's fine. And I'll let you monitor the airplane as it's climbing up. I'm trying to break things around the house here. I'm just going to drop away for a sec to get a refreshment. And I'll be back with you right before... there's the New York state border already. Look at that. Rochester will be over here somewhere. Yeah, I'm just going to drop off for a minute. I'll leave you some nice views of the plane, and see you in just a minute. There we go. See you soon, guys. Back in a second. I'm back with you guys. Airplane climbing nicely. Mach 7.5 already. 4.7 tons of fuel. Our estimated fuel at time of landing be about 3.1 tons, so that is totally fine. And we should be getting into LaGuardia about 11:34 Zulu, so that is just under an hour. Probably look at our arrival as well. Just to kind of talk through what I did. So, did I do this already? I can't remember. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I did talk through it. Didn't I? Okay, never mind. Won't do that again. It's not useful content to just repeat yourself, is it? can do though is extend that range out. Top climb should be just after Avon. Interesting name. Now, firmly over New York State. And we'll be landing runway 4 today. Flaps 30 sounds good to me. The weather, again, very low wind, 4 knots, nothing really to worry about. Gives us a VREF of 130. So if we go into our get our descent wind forecast as well while we're at it. Best thing that does is it gives us, sometimes gives us a slight adjustment on our arrival times. There we go. So we want to go to approach. Today we are going to use flaps 30 at, we say 129, I think, wasn't it? 130. 130. And just take a quick spin around approach. So basically our platform altitude today, let's just have a quick look at our charts. So we want to be about 3,000 feet at Benning, coming down to 1,800. Intercept the ILS at 1,700 feet. So reality is we'll probably see that ILS long before that, but we'll try and fly by the numbers today. And that is showing you as well the Greg transition that we're coming in. So we're flying over Vader, directly over the airport, coming into JC down to Neckel, above 4,000, and then Varas up to Benning. So Benning, 3,000, that is... What is that roughly? Usually sometimes these charts give you a total number, but this time it's not. So let's 2.7 plus 3.2 plus 1.1 plus 6. It's 12 miles for Benning. And then ILS intercept at about 5. So I'll put that in. Oop, wrong one. K. L. G. A. So runway direction heading is 44. At 180 to that gives us 224. And what did we say? 12 initially for Benning. And then about 5 for our runway intercept. Assuming that's going to do what I thought it was going to do. Let's go have a look. No descent path after something. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Now that's a bit interesting, isn't it? I don't know what's happening there. Probably don't need harps. Let's just get rid of that. Should clean that up. Okay, there's our rings there, so that's good. back out a bit. So that should give us our runway path. Step in a little. There we go, runway path, and that gives us our outer ring 12 for bending, which we want to be at 3,000. I'm going to put that as a hard 3,000. And it's going to take us 1,700 denning, so that's fine. Actually, I'll put in a hard 1,800 at Bramwell as well. And that should take us in nicely. There we go. Approaching a cruise altitude. Wow, how time flies. 370. Nighthawk just ahead of us. Pushing an almost Mach 7, well, Mach 0.8, which is relatively quick for this airplane, actually. It seems to be climbing. Soon those engines are going to spool down a bit. That's good. You see, we got a ground speed of 461. So the winds are fighting us a little bit, but as I mentioned, they're just not a lot in it from a cruise altitude perspective. So it's just a slight push to the right. Right, I don't know what that descent path means, but we'll hit that when we find out what's going on. Top of descent. Top of descent is going to be 1109 Zulu, so 170 nautical miles. There you go. Okay. And Jayhawk's in there. He says, "Good morning. Just a quick hello as I'm out. Hope you are well, Jayhawk. Doing okay. Thank you for asking, and hope everything is okay on your side as well." If you're watching quietly, please do say hello in the chat, or at the very least, if you could hit that like and the subscribe button, it really helps us out. Thank you very much. Oh, something in my eye. Okay, everything's looking good up there. Seatbelts can come off. I don't know why I've not done that, actually. Everyone's probably locked in their seats saying, "Why does this captain hate us so much?" Okay, just take that range down a little bit. Apart from that, I think everything's good to go. Oh, let's do some news, eh? How about that? We'll do some news. Okay, it's time for the news. Okay, lots of things happening today. So, this is kind of big news. I misread this. I saw just an A300 development update. Like, there's already A300 Microsoft Flight Simulator, but no, this is from Just Flight. They are putting out a A300B4 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Very exciting, because anybody who's familiar with Just Flight products, as we are very intricately, know that they do nothing less than the best quality you can find in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Their add-ons are absolutely spectacular. So this is huge news, and you can see some of the detail that they're showing off in the cockpit here. Also, an old school INS. So for those of you who might not know, before airliners had kind of your FMC and integrated inertial guidance and GPS, You just had a simple inertial system that you'd have to plan it by putting in the actual map coordinates of each waypoint. So it didn't go by the waypoints that we know well today, which are usually 5-letter combinations like divot or TiVo or something like that. It was just raw map coordinates, but this did revolutionize things in terms of allowing airplanes to account for wind deviation accurately, especially when crossing the Atlantic, when there was no VOR or anything to kind of track to. So they are representing this in the A300, which is really exciting. It's not an easy thing to use, but I know that there was a Concorde add-on for Flight Simulator 10, I believe, that had this and implemented it reasonably well. So it's really cool to see that Just Flight is bringing this back, and no doubt it's going to be very, very impressive. And you can just see a couple of shots here. It's extra amount of detail. I love the flap lever. I always thought looked really weird on the A300. It is what it is. Anyway, moving on. PMDG 77 has put out an update for the 300 ER passenger variant. It's a stability fix. Some people were experiencing freezes, problems with the lighting, LNAV and VNAV. So they've really just pushed out this update just to try and fix some of those problems. Nighthawk says that'll be the fourth A300 310. Yeah, but I think this will be the definitive one, Nighthawk. I think the Just Flight will probably be I think a lot of people will jump on that if they're a fan of the 300. They are shifting away from non-critical issues, says Robert Rendazzo, because they are focusing on getting the 777 freight variant to the beta testers as quick as possible. So we should be expecting that fairly soon. They also mention, this is exciting if you're an Xbox owner, it's going to be going to the marketplace. I assume it's going to Xbox as well, but usually when it goes to marketplace, it tends to be going to Xbox. And that is expected between the 1st and 8th of August. So that is really exciting news. Potentially for Xbox owners if you're looking for a high fidelity long hauler. Inabuilds, more A300 news, but this is for X-Plane 12. So Inabuilds is working on A300, 600 are for X-Plane 12, as well as their Beluga, and they're saying that it's in the works. They don't have any further updates to that, only just to announce to say that yeah, it is coming. So if you're X-Plane 12 user, you will be very excited about that. DC Designs, still cranking out the fighters, and this time they've gone over to the red side of things. Su-27 Flanker. This is looking really cool. DC Designs is very well known for their external modeling. Couldn't say much about the systems or anything like that, but there's a nice little video to kind of get an impression. And looks like we've got a Russian aircraft carrier as well implemented, which is quite amazing. So yeah, they are highly overpowered airplanes. Certainly an airplane that the rest of the world paid attention to when it originally came out. It's still very capable, well used, and it's sold well to a lot of different countries as well. And there you can get some nice kind of cockpit shots. It's a huge fighter. Yes, it is. It is a huge fighter. And there's a larger version. I almost call it like a 27 stretch. The Su-34, which is a tactical bomber, 2-seater, which is even bigger than that. But yeah, it's been long the mainstay of Russian and various air forces over the years, and yeah, it's looking pretty cool. So if you're looking for a little bit of rusky aviation action, there's an F-15 as well. I guess he's trying to simulate a little bit of that battle there. DC Designs is the place to go, and that is now released. So I think probably they have their own website. I can't remember where that's actually. It's available through Just Flight. Modest price as well, 21 or 22 euros. So go check that out on Just Flight, and a huge shout out to our friends at Just Flight as well. In the builds, they've got an A350 teaser. You may have already seen this. A lot of people are getting pretty excited about it. It will be the first A350 to come to Microsoft Flight Simulator. And it looks like there's a lot of detail, very high attention to the external model. The fact that you can actually go down into the server room below the cockpit's pretty cool as well. I like that. And then actually walk into the cargo area. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. And I don't know if they've mentioned when it's coming out. Doesn't say anything about release dates or anything like that, but yeah, it's looking pretty cool. VATSIM! If you are a VATSIM and you want to experience some more detailed control in Africa, there is a Cross Africa event, and this is being hosted by a number of VATSIM localities, such as I believe that's South Africa, Maghreb Air Traffic Control, Egypt, and Northeast Africa Air Traffic Control. So do expect quite a lot of control areas to be open and operating during that, and it gives you a chance to visit a part of the world that I dare say a lot of people probably don't really fly around much, because you know, certainly from the VATSIM side and otherwise, we just don't pay attention to it, and it's a beautiful part of the world. So I'm sure that'll be a lot of fun if you're looking for something a little bit different. That will be on August the 3rd. FS HUD. Now this is an interesting little add-on. I think it's like an air traffic control type of thing. Integrates directly into Flight Simulator. It looks quite interesting. And so they've just put out a teaser video. You can go check this out. And it gives you a kind of graphical air traffic control representation of things, and I think there's like an AI ATC behind it as well, but it's looking quite fully featured. It's very impressive. Almost something that an air traffic control guy could use, eh? So, but yeah, that's looking pretty cool. Let's see if it says. They haven't said how much it's going to be yet. I must admit, I'm not very familiar with FSHUD, so I'm going to have to look into this a little bit more. But it does have AI ATC voices, that's right, yeah. So they've imported approximately 100 voices from different regions. And it's all various accents, so I presume it's all in English, mainly. Anyway, so if you're interested in that, go check that out. World Update 17. What a good song to come on. Ireland has got a heck of a lot of attention on this. I think Ireland was a little bit neglected on the last UK and Ireland update, but this time they very much are in the center focus, particularly the area and city of Cork. Two-Tone Murphy, a huge shout out to my good friend Two-Tone Murphy, was showcasing some of this, I think last night. And I mean, he knows Cork very well, and he was flying over Cork, and he, you know, just with a drone camera, and he was basically saying, it's awesome. It's really hyper accurate. Lots of points of interest as well, and it looks like they paid a little bit more attention to the island. So the Isle of Man getting a little bit of attention there. The Isle of Mull. Yeah, it's all looking pretty awesome. Nice to see. It looks like we have photogrammetry updates for Edinburgh and Glasgow also. And Inverness Castle, there you go. That's a nice one. I've actually been to that castle as well. So yeah, you can go check that out. That is available right now on the marketplace within Flight Simulator. It's completely free. It's quite a sizable update. It's about a gig, I would say, to download. Nighthawk says, I flew over the cliffs of Moher with Murphy yesterday. Were you? Fantastic. Yes, they are amazing. Yes, they are. I was watching that stream. I didn't notice that you were flying with him, Nighthawk, but that's brilliant. But yeah, it's really, really good. So there's Princess Whale Bridge. Yeah, so there's tons of stuff in here. I wonder if that was the Connell Bridge, actually. Oh, no, it's Bristol. All right. Yeah, I mean, the points of interest, there's tons of them. Actually, tons of them. Just let you get a Dover Castle. Brighton, there you go. Brighton might be interesting. We should probably check that out on one stream. Maybe we haven't done any kind of slow and exploring type of flights for a while. So maybe we'll get out the old Piper Arrow or something like that and do some flights around Bristol and try out some of the scenery. Anyway, so moving on, Inabuilds, they've released Dubrovnik, which is a where is Dubrovnik? It's is it Croatia? Yeah, Croatia, and that's looking pretty good. So yeah, lots of detail around there. If you fly around that area of the world quite a bit, that might be good to do, I think. Yeah, you go directly to Inbuilds for that. That is running at about £15 sterling, so you can kind of judge for yourself what that's going to translate to for everything. FS Stream Team, anyone that's using GS Pro Update will be very excited. They've now got passengers for PMDG 777 and the 737. That must be very impressive to see that 777 getting filled in. If you have have this for yourself, I'd love to see some video footage of it. It's very exciting. And Miltech has brought out UK Carrier Strike Group, so this looks like it has the Prince of Wales or the Queen Elizabeth, something like that. And I presume you can land on it as well. So it's 24 locations for the group, 12 are stacked, 12 are moving. Well, that's cool. So you can actually practice moving approaches. Best airplane I could suggest for that would obviously be the F-35B, which is available from Orbix. I think it's India Foxtrot Echo that makes that. Very cheap though. It's only about $9.50 US, so that's quite inexpensive. And finally, Horizon Simulations has provided an update on their second anniversary. So they are, well, actually, I'll be honest with you, I haven't read this yet. So they've got a number of projects that they're working on anyway. They are working on a 7478 mod as well, but no mention of when that's going to come out. If you're a fan of Horizon, and they're offering improvement projects for Latin VR and Captain Sim. Okay, that's it. Fair enough. They're waiting for the next. So of course, Horizon does the. Oh no, that's Headwinds. So obviously they must be bringing some improvements over from the open source side of things from Fly-by-Wire into the Captain Sim products, I guess. And I didn't realize Captain Sim had a Boeing 767. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, that's the news for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll get back to our regular content. There's always that risk when you come back to the airplane, you think, is it still going to be flying? Oh, well, we certainly burned through a little bit of time there. Top of descent is, wow, look at that. It's only 60 miles away, so there we go. It's a great way to kill the time. Big thanks to our news correspondent, Notelex2411, also known as Dan, for putting all of that fantastic news together. I hope you learned something, or something surprised you anyway. Right, I'm just going to pop away for a sec, guys, just before we hit that top of descent, and we'll take our final leg into LaGuardia. Be right back with you. Stay tuned. Okay, back with you guys. And top descent is just over 20 nautical miles out, so we're going to bring this down our platform, a final platform altitude, rather, of 1700. Aircraft will fly the constraints as we pass through them. Nighthawk says the B707 comes September 2nd. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so there you go. Is this the one that's coming from Inabuilds, or it's being released as part of the sim update? Isn't it? Caravel after October. All right. Can't remember what the Caravel is. What is the Caravel, Nighthawk? I do know the name, but I just can't think in my head what that is. I don't know if I can see Nighthawk anywhere. Whoop. Oh, there he is. He's over there. Some great views. There's some beautiful lakes in New York State. I mean, usually when you say New York State, a lot of people immediately think of New York City. But the state of New York itself is actually quite spectacular. Lots of green forests and lakes and places to camp and hang out. The Finger Lake area is a beautiful part of the world, actually. 10 miles to the top of the sun. Oh, maybe 12. Certainly an expeditious flight today, though. We've been holding Mach 0.8 for pretty much the whole trip, so that is awfully quick. And we still got 3.5 tons of fuel left as well. Still predicting 3-1 for landing, too. Descent winds really haven't impacted, that I expected them to, our arrival time. I think we've probably gained a minute. I think we were 11:34 initially, weren't we? So just over 20 minutes. French rear engine passenger. Ugly. Oh, by the way, did anybody see the opening ceremonies for the Paris Olympics? I didn't know what to make of it. With all the countries being introduced with these like boats coming down the river, and there's weird kind of stuff happening, and people, break dancers and kind of Cirque du Soleil type people, and of course the weather wasn't very cooperative either. It was just absolutely hammering down with rain at times. But it all seemed a little bit weird, if I'm being honest. And he had all these like statues of famous women coming out of the water, and it was very I was joking with a friend of mine. It said it reminds me of the movie Batman and Robin. You never give Joel Schumacher creative control. Nighthawk said, yeah, the athletes had the most fun. Lady Gaga and Celine were amazing to see her sing. Yeah, actually, I'm surprised that Celine Dion made it, because she's really not well. Very, very poor health now. So it's pretty amazing that I dare say it might have been the last time she does perform live, because I don't think she's doing that great. Top descent has started. You can see those engines spooling back now. Hear that low hum as they wind back. See that sun just still a bit low in the sky, glistening off the beautiful wing of the 737-600. Here's the sun. Just checking that we're on our profile. We are, so that's fine. Haven't had any further warnings from the FMC, so I think whatever change I made must have cleaned up the issue. Just for reference, 30, flaps 30 at 130, so that'll be 135. When we land, a little bit faster than usual, but then we are fully loaded. We've got a full passenger complement today. There's Nighthawk up there, dropping below 25,000. Quick weather check. Winds picked up a little bit, about 5 knots now. Slight crosswind for runway 4, so the runs will be coming in from the left. Good visibility, and our pressure is 3012, so we'll just get that set. Alright. What we also want to do is look at our, see if we can get the approach. So look on 4. There we go. That's good. Oh, I like dark. Go to dark mode. Actually, having said that, day mode might be better for seeing it through here. So decision height is 283 on barrel. So we'll get that set. Actually, set that 250. Elevation 250, 262 the airport roughly. Or no. 262 radio. What's the actual 21 feet? So that's too high. Go back to 0. Can we say 282? 283. There we go. See that forest will start to bleed out as we get over more populated areas. You can see settlements down there already. So did you watch the whole opening ceremonies, Nighthawk? I only watched a bit of it. It just seemed very long. I mean, you're talking well over almost 2 hours to introduce the athletes, which I thought was a bit crazy. So it's like, how much could possibly be left? So I didn't actually see how it ended up, but I might check on YouTube today. Let's see water, the sun glistening off those beautiful lakes out there. It's really cool. Just makes you want to go camping, doesn't it? It's nice. Nighthawk says, watched it while flying with Murphy about 5 hours. 5 hours! Bloody hell. 5 hours. Were there any speeches? It's got itchy leg today. I don't know what's happening. Okay. Now below transition, so we can switch to sorry, it does both of them, doesn't it? I've got that set in the settings. That's why I've got, just because the fly-by-wire you have to set both and keep clicking it. Right, so now dropping to 16,000 feet. we should be dropping down to about 240 knots at some point as well. So we might use a bit of speed brakes as we come in the grid because we're coming in pretty hot. But we should be about 14,000 feet. Actually, the plane should slow down. Oh. The stutters, yeah. Yeah, it seems this last sim update seems to have brought in the stutters, if I'm being honest. And we can see a big shout out to Slinky Bog. He's flying, looks like he's flying a 777 down there. Or B-77W, I presume that's 777. And we can see the Atlantic coast coming up in front of us as we begin to start our approach into LaGuardia, which is going to bring us a what do you call it? Crosswind approach over the airport for a left-hander into runway 04. I take it everything else, the stream quality is okay though, Nighthawk. There's nothing else you can see that's wrong. As I got the new NVIDIA drivers, and I didn't realize that NVIDIA was optimizing OBS, so I've actually turned that off. So I'm just wondering if that's made a markable, either an improvement or a degradation to the stream. The stream is great? Good. That's what I like to hear. So that won't be LaGuardia, actually. I'm not sure what airport that is. Oh, that's JFK. Okay, so that's JFK over there. And the city of New York. Yeah, JFK, yeah. It's funny, you know, when you think about New York airports, you think they're massive, but they're not really. I mean, they might be massive within the terminals, certainly, but they don't really have much in the way of runways, do they? Not compared to the likes of, like, Heathrow or, well, maybe JFK does, actually, because I can see two of them there. 3, 4. Certainly Toronto's a lot bigger. Toronto's just a massive, sprawling airport. Huge. It's like someone gave them a unlimited budget. Go build as many runways as you want. You can see the parkway coming in along the coast there. It's cool. Plane is slowing down nicely at 240. Oh, here we've got another stutter again. And we should... Oh, well, this is the New York scenery coming in. That's why this is happening, I think. Luckily, my frame... there's LaGuardia there. So this is... you can see runway 4 over here. So this is our crosswind approach. See Manhattan over there. So we fly, I guess we're flying over the Bronx. Is that right? Or Queens, maybe. There's a crosswind approach, so yeah, that's what we're doing. We're going to take a big loop around and then come in on runway 4 down there. $10,000. Airplane is now descending to 4,000 feet. And we begin our entered our crosswind in for our left-hander can see, start to see all the bridges down there. Now, really good views of New York coming this way, actually. Look at that. That's spectacular. Yeah, this is definitely, the Greg's approach is definitely a right proper tour of the city coming in. It's a place we don't really fly into very often. Let's see, Nighthawk is nearing this final approach. Alright, get the seatbelts on there. That should be on already, but we'll get them on now. And we are below 10,000, so we'll get those landing lights on. Just to get a glimpse of some of the beautiful views in New York out here. So you can see Central Park. It's probably the best approach I've ever had over Manhattan, actually, while streaming. What an approach. There's New Jersey below us, I think. Unless I got things back to front. I don't think I did. Starting to get a little foggy here. I'll tell you what we don't have planned in, though, is the ILS. 110.5. Course 44. Looks like that's already tuned in anyway. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, and we are picking it up, so that's fair enough. Alright, we need to get this airplane slowed down, so I'm going to put in a bit of speed brakes here just to help the airplane along. And I think we'll take control of the speed as well. Get down to it. Spectacular views coming into New York here. And that's something. Okay, profile's looking good. Now we can see those speed brakes really kicking in to slow us down. I think it'll take us down about 190. Plus for 200, or 190 is completely acceptable. And we'll get flaps one out. Okay, tuck those speed brakes away, leave them armed. We'll go with speed brakes 1 today, or auto braking 1, I should say. Still on profile. Getting some more spectacular views as we turn over the city. You really get understanding of how big New York is, that's for sure. And we'll arm the localizer. See that 12-mile ring there for Benning. You want to be about 3,000 feet at that point. Take it down to about 180 and flaps 2. Localizer indicated. Don't want to arm the approach just yet because the VNAV is meant to fly us through our altitude constraints. So the plane's now taking the sun profile down to 3,000 feet at Benning. You can see all the nice beaches down there. Don't know how clean they are. LaGuardia, here we come. Plane's flying on profile nicely. Once we get to about Rammel, we'll probably arm the approach at that point. If the ILS captures, then that's completely fine. That's just before our 6-mile ring, I believe. And everything that's going to happen really quickly there. We'll need to get our flaps out, gear down. Currently 14 miles from the airport. Runway's pretty short. Okay, I better stick on auto brake 2 then. Is that you just down, is it, Nighthawk? Oh heck, okay. Let's go out of break 3, what the hell. Getting good view of the Docklands as we're coming in. This will be Brooklyn. Okay, runway is in sight, so we'll get the turn off.
2,500.
$10 miles. All checks. Just ding the attendants, make sure they're belted in. Engines to continuous, ignition to continuous, I should say. Let's take us down to 160 knots. Flaps 5. Flaps 10. And we'll arm the approach. You should now see that plane's been flying under the ILS all this time. And it should pick it up quite soon. ILS capture, gear down. And we'll slow the airplane down to BREF plus 5, which is 1, 3, 5. Flaps 15. Flaps 25. And flaps 30. Okay. My controls. Continue.
Glide slope. Glide slope.
I'm fine. What are you whinging at?
100.
I don't think that glide scope is definitely accurate anyway.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Whoa, a little bit of deviation there. Wind's kicking in a little. Auto brakes are definitely helping at this point. $60 knots. Manual braking. And vacating. Welcome to LaGuardia. We'll just follow Nighthawk into this interesting looking airport. Take a quick tour of it because I don't think we fly here very often, so. Clean up the flaps. Lights can come off as well. Technically we're crossing the runway, but that's alright. APU can start. Start. I'm getting some pretty good stutters now. Probably at the limits of my PC at this point. Nighthawk's over there, so I think I'll turn in here. Probably missed a turn there somewhere, but it's alright. Just double back on ourselves a bit. Cabin crew can move about. And find ourselves a nice gate beside Nighthawk. Well, seeing some gate weirdness here. Might be a scenery issue. Seems to happen more and more these days. I don't know what's causing the problem. I just get these kind of orphaned gates kind of out sitting by themselves. Very strange. Some sort of scenery conflict, maybe. Anyway, I think we'll pick gate up here somewhere. Oh, turn off that taxi lights. This looks good. Brakes on. APU power come on as well as lead. And engines off. And beacons off. Doesn't look like we're going to get a jetway connection. Try the other way. Oh, there we go. It's working. I think. Yeah, it's alright. It's working okay. Cool. Okay. That's probably fine. I think we can leave the airplane where it is. Actually, we'll get the ground power on. Yeah. Actually, we'll just leave the AP running. That's fine. Quick tour around the airport. Yeah, funky looking place, LaGuardia Airport, isn't it? It's a very kind of artsy type of terminal design. Quite a few gates though. And there's I think there's about 2 terminals there, isn't there? So yeah, quite a bit of air traffic. Air traffic can be managed here. See what it looks like at night. There you go. Get down and dirty. I don't think there's any internal modeling. In fact, I can almost guarantee there's not internal modeling because that just looks like kind of textures. But it's not bad. It's not bad. And of course, when you just rise up above it and look at all the lights in New York, it's just absolutely cool. Amazing approach coming in today. Really appreciate Nighthawk flying with me again. Where would I be without you, Nighthawk? Always great to fly with you, mate. Hope you guys had a good time. We will be back next week. We're going to be hopping back into the Black Square Grand Duke, and we're going to be doing a trip from Key West to Cancun, taking in some of the sights over Cuba as we're flying in. So again, another part of the world that we haven't really flown to recently. Apart from that, I wish you all the best and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you right here next time on Positive Rate. All the best. Take care.